is Bailey. He is, I don't think you guys can really see him. Me. Say hi, Bailey. No? Okay, well, this is my first YouTube vlog, and I'm really, really excited to start my YouTube channel. Today is Sunday, and Sundays mean that it is laundry day and thrift store shopping day. So I'm probably gonna go to maybe what are you, sir? No, not for YouTube, okay? We do that in private. So I'm probably gonna go to like three different Goodwill stores. And the goal is to find a oversized men's t-shirt, that button-down shirt that I can turn into a dress, and a couple of pairs of jeans that I can flip and distress and make them look really cute. So I might vlog while I'm out there. Bailey is not coming, obviously, and I am going to get my laundry done, and I'm gonna go to the Goodwill, and I will try and vlog while I'm there. All right? Okay, so I just got out of the shower, so I'm looking a little bit less crusty and dusty. It looks like it's about to rain. Alexa, is it supposed to rain today?
It might rain today. There's a 56% chance at 5 p.m.
Okay, so
you can expect about 0.12
Okay,
inches.
Alexa, shh, stop talking. All right, so we're gonna have to completely prepare for rain, because I was not prepared for rain. So we're gonna come back and I will meet you guys in the car. YouTube. So I am in the car and I'm on my way to the Goodwill now, and we're gonna see what goodies we find. By the way, if you happen to hear barking, it's because I had to, you hear it? I had to drop in on my Alexa device because Bailey cries, or he cries when I'm not home. And my neighbors have apparently started complaining to my property manager that he barks all day and all night. And I don't believe that he barks all day and all night. He does cry. I don't know if you can hear him. He's crying because I'm not there. But he definitely doesn't bark all day, and definitely not all night because he'd keep me up. So I just have to have my own little evidence that he's not being a nuisance to my neighbors. So I am a little annoyed because I am here at the Goodwill. I just got here and they open up at 12 o'clock. I thought they opened up at 11. It's 11:03, but they don't open up for another hour. It's cool though, because I have a package that needs to be mailed, and I know it's Sunday, but I think I can take it to Staples and get a UPS shipping label, so, and then they'll take it. So I'm gonna do that first and then I will come back. So a little bit of an update. I went to the first Goodwill store. I came in on top on Goodwill. I got 2 pairs of jeans, 1 oversized shirt, and it's really silky. It looks nice, and a sweater, and it all came to $12.92, I believe. And now I'm at the second Goodwill store that I'm about to go in right now and see if I can find some goodies in there. I did go to Staples and I mailed my package. That was a whole another like fiasco of a story. If I feel like getting into that when I get home, then I'll talk about that. But other than that, I am about to go into the second Goodwill store to see what I can find. So I'm walking past this and it just made me think of something. If you're going to donate or you want to get rid of old suitcases, instead of donating them to the Goodwill, donate them to like children's shelters, because when foster children have to move around, they often have to put their things in like plastic bags or trash bags when they're moving, because they move so frequently. So if you want to get rid of stuff like that, take them to the children's shelter. Don't take them to the Goodwill. Help a child in need. Just finished in my second Goodwill store for the day. This one surprisingly did not have a whole lot of things for it to be a much bigger store than the first one that I was at. They didn't, or at least they had stuff. They just didn't have things that I was particularly looking for. But I did find one more pair of jeans, and they're cute. So it's better than nothing. I was gonna go to the Salvation Army today, but they are closed. So I will not be going there. So I'm done with my thrift store shopping for today. So now I'm going to go to the laundromat and do my laundry. Okay, so while I have time, while I'm driving, I decided that I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the situation that I had at Staples while I was trying to mail my package. I hate to pull the race card with certain situations, but I definitely felt not belittled, but I felt like my needs were not being as properly taken care of as they would have been if I were a white woman. So here's the situation. I go into Staples and I was mailing my package, so I go over to the copy center and I had my bag that you guys seen in the previous video, and on it I had already wrote, like I physically wrote where it was going, and my return address was already physically on the bag. So when I handed it to the dude, all he had to do was to literally copy it, what was written, and then put it into the system to make the tag. So he does all of that in a computer. I go over to pay and leave the store thinking that everything was okay. And I get back into my car. I was on the phone with my grandma. I get back into the car and I just happened to look at my receipt, and I realized that my return address was wrong. Like the address was correct, my apartment number was incorrect. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna go back and change that just for precaution. You know, anything can happen in the mail, and if they need to send it back, I need for it to actually come back to me. So I go back inside of the store, and then as I'm sitting there and telling the guy that my return address was incorrect, I also noticed that the actual mailing address was incorrect. Like the only thing that was labeled on the shipping label was the street and not the actual like house number. So yeah, my package was about to get lost in the mail completely, and they wouldn't have known where to send it, and they wouldn't have known where to send it back, and it just would have been floating around, you know, somewhere in the United States of America between here and Atlanta, Georgia, because that's where it was going. I'm in Philly and the package was going to Atlanta. So I tell the dude, I was like, so all of this needs to be corrected. The shipping address needs to be changed and the return address needs to be fixed. So he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to do a return and then we can just do the transaction again. So I'm like, okay, well, instead of doing a whole return, can you just put the money on store credit, because I don't want to have the money to go back onto my card, and then I gotta wait 3 to 5 business days, and then I gotta turn around and pay you again. Not that I didn't, you know, I can afford the $12.26. It was just the principle, like, well, I shouldn't have to pay you again, and there's a simpler way to do this. So he calls over the manager to find out if he could get permission to put the money back onto a gift card and then redo the transaction. The manager comes over, and I don't know if he was just having a bad day or whatever, but I wasn't feeling the attitude that he was giving off. First of all, at no point did he ever greet me or even look at me, which is weird because, you know, I'm the customer in the situation, and at this point I am right. You know, I don't believe in the customer's always right, because the customer's not always right. But in this particular case, I feel like I had a reason to, you know, be voicing my opinion that my package is not going to go where it needs to, and it's not going to come back where it came from either. So I didn't like the fact that, you know, the way that he was speaking to me. He was like, so what's the problem? I said, well, the address on my package is incorrect and I need it to be corrected, but the guy says that you need to give me a refund. He's like, okay, so do the refund. What's the problem? I was like, well, the issue that I'm having is that I don't want to have to put the money back on my card, especially if I'm going to turn around and give it back. So I was asking him if he can put it on a gift card or a store credit so that you can just run the transaction and do it again. He's like, well, you can't do that. I was like, okay, so what are my other options? Because what I don't want to have to do, as I explained to the gentleman over there, is that I just don't see the reason for me to have to wait 3 to 5 business days to get my $12 back for a situation that had nothing to do with me. It was the mistake on the associate. And I understand, you know, we're all human, but I don't want to be, you know, I don't want the mistake to be at my expense. So he goes into the computer and starts punching, you know, some numbers into the computer. Again, at no point did this man ever look at me, not greet me, no nothing. So he says, can you confirm the number on the card box, on the card reader? And I was like, well, but I don't want the money back on the card. He was like, I'm trying to do what you want me to do, ma'am. That's literally how he said it. He's like, I'm trying to do what you want me to do. Can you confirm the amount on the card reader? And I was like, okay. So I pushed the button on the card reader that said, yes, that's the money that is supposed to come back to me. And so I was like, okay, so what now? He was like, I need you to push the button that's on the card reader. I was like, I just did that, and it's asking me to put my card in. He's like, okay, so put the card in. I was like, but that's not what I want. was like, you're not listening to me. I don't want the money to go back onto my car. He's like, well, that's the only way that you're going to get what you want. And I was like, but that's not what I want. And what I want is for my address to be corrected. So at this point, when I say that again for the second time, because I already explained it to him, he's like, so the only problem is that the address is wrong? And I said, yes. I just need the address to be corrected. That's what the address that's on my package is not the address that I gave the associate. So I need that to be corrected, whether you give me back the money or not, because I don't need the refund. I still want to send my package. I just want my package to go where I want it to go. So then he turns and he looks at the associate. Well, you could have just avoided the transaction and just changed the label. And I was like, okay. So now the associate walks back over to the shipping label computer. So I walk over to him. The manager stays at the cash register computer and is still, pushing buttons. I don't know what's going on. One person is at one computer. The other man is at another computer. And there's this lady that was behind me, a blonde-haired lady. And she's looking at me. I'm looking at her like, I don't know what the problem is. And she's just shaking her head. So, to me, it felt like she understood where I was coming from. She understood where I was coming from. So as the associate is now in the shipping computer, he's typing in numbers again. Well, first I was like, well, don't you need the address? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, the address is on the package. You got to go get the package because I wrote it on the package. So he goes to now look, through all of the boxes. I'm pointing it out to him like, it's that one right there. It's right on top in the cup. In the bucket that you put it. It's right there. I see it from here. And he's picking up like 3 different types of things. I don't know. Maybe, he was a little frazzled today. I don't understand. But he finally picks up the correct package, brings it back over to the computer and goes back to punching in numbers and punching stuff into the computer. And then I said to him, before you print out that label, can you show me on the computer just so that I can make sure that everything is correct? He's like, okay, that's fine. So he finishes whatever he's doing in the computer. He turns it back around and I'm looking at the ship to label. Once again, it's incorrect. The first time you forgot to put the actual address, like the house address on there. And at this time you messed up the street number. It said whatever circle. And then he writes whatever lane. And I was like, it's circle, it's not lane. So then he turns it back around, turns the computer back around and starts, punching some other numbers back into the computer and then turns it around again. And he's like, well, every time I type in the address number, a drop-down box comes up with like familiar addresses that are in the system, and the actual house address was not one of them. He was like, so I can't put the address in there. I was like, so instead of trying to use a familiar address to the system, why don't you just manually write in what it is that I have on the package that I gave to you? Now, for the life of me, I can't expect everybody to think like me, and I know that common sense is not common. But I don't feel like I should have had to tell you how to manually type something in. So, taking my advice, he does that, and now my ship to address is correct. So he goes to get ready to print it. I said, well, hold on. Before you do that, can we check the shipping from address? Because again, when I said in the beginning, both of them were incorrect. I noticed that my address was incorrect before I noticed that the shipping address was incorrect as well. So he goes back over to the return label, and once again, my address was not right. So at this point now I'm frustrated. Oh, the manager, he comes over and he hands me cash. He's like, here's your $12.26 back. And I was like, okay, thank you. Don't know what he did, but either way, I got my money back in cash, which is perfectly okay with me too. And then the guy on the computer goes to change my address to make it correct on the paper as well. And then when he printed it out, it was still wrong. So now I'm like, okay, sir, can you give me a pen? And I'm going to scratch all of this out and I'm just going to rewrite it myself. Because, once again, it was already written physically on the bag that had my contents inside of it. But sometimes I'd be worried. I'd be putting a whole lot of faith in humanity. Even though the correct address was written on the bag, the UPS people may have thought that, this was a reused bag. I don't know. And they're going by the address that's actually on the packaging. So I needed to make sure that the address that was on the packaging, on the label, was the same thing as what was actually on the package and where it was supposed to be going. So I take the pen, I scratch some stuff out, and I actually write it onto the shipping label to make sure that everything was correct. And then I go to hand him back the 1226, so that I could pay for my things to be shipped. And he's like, oh no, you don't got to worry about it. And I was like, but don't I got to pay for the label? And he's like, no, it's fine. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So bottom line, my package is being sent. I have no receipt because there was never a transaction that was made. I took a picture of the shipping label, and prayerfully it goes where it needs to go. But I think I'm going to actually contact UPS just to make sure that everything is correct in the computer. But for me to, bringing it back to the whole, I don't usually like to play the race card. I just feel like if I had been a white woman, it would not have been such a stressful situation, especially with the manager. Like, I didn't really appreciate the way that he was talking to me, and it felt like my needs were not important to him. Like, I already told you what the problem was. Clearly you weren't listening, because I specifically said I don't actually need a refund. I just need the address to be correct. And instead of listening to me the first time, you want to be frustrated with the situation. And again, you know what? It might not have had nothing to do with the fact that I was a black lady, and maybe he was just having a bad day. But that's how it came off. Because the white woman that was behind me, she was, like I said, the blind lady, she was behind me. He started taking care of her after he handed me back my 1026. Didn't say anything. He just was like, here's your change. And then that was it. No apology, no nothing. The apology came from the associate. I feel like part of the apology also should have came from the manager, but I digress on that. But he goes to take care of the woman that was behind me, and was a lot kinder. Like, the way he was talking to her was a lot kinder than it was, and he was talking to me. So it is what it is. That was the story that went with that. You can take it however you want to. I'm almost home, and then we can jump into the things that I got from the Goodwill. All right, YouTube. So I am now back home after getting my thrift shopping done, and I got my laundry done. Hello, thank God. And I am going to show you guys some of the stuff that I got and how I'm going to, well, it might not be this video, how I distress some of the stuff that I have. But for now, it's just going to be a try on. So the first thing that I have is teal shirt. It's really big. It's oversized. I'm going to wear it as a dress. I'm going to pair it with this brown belt that I got from Izzy and Liv. Oh, snap. From the light. From Izzy and Liv. Izzy and Liv. It's a black-owned company, and it is not sponsored, okay? I got this out of my brown trigger box that I pay for with my own money. So shout outs to them. Really nice stuff. Check out izzyandliv.com. So I'm going to throw this shirt on. It's just going to be a dress. What to do with this belt? I tie it like... Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is the first look. I think I might do something with these sleeves. Roll them up. Do something cute with them. Okay, so this is my first look that I have. I think it's cute. I probably wouldn't wear it alone because I got a butt, but it does cover me all the way around. And I think it looks cute. I'll probably pair it with, some leggings or pants or whatever, but I got this shirt from the Goodwill, and this cost me $1. Next, I got these American Eagle jeans from the Goodwill as well. Bring the camera up a little bit. They fit nicely. They already came a little bit distressed because I am going to be distressing some jeans. They're like high waist kind of. They come up higher on my waist. I'm trying to lift up my waist bead so you can see them a little better, but yeah, they're cute. And these were $4. This next pair of jeans, I don't know how I feel about these ones. They're really big on me. Like, I've got this little gap here. It's a lot of extra room. But I was looking for like the baggy mom jean feel, and I got thighs. Don't got a whole lot of waist up here. so they might have to be taken in. But I like how they feel. They're comfy. And then I'll probably distress them out a little bit, you know, make them cute, because right now they're looking a little funny. But I gotta get used to this top fit or figure out how to work with it, because this, child, that's a lot. This was the last pair. They don't even fit. So they're gonna go back to the store probably tomorrow, because I don't gotta go to work tomorrow. This looks really cute together. It's a whole fit. They cost me probably a total of $6 or $7. I really like these pants. I like that they're already distressed, but they're not distressed enough for me. I think I'm gonna tear them up a little bit more, add something like right here on the thigh, because it's just, they're cute, but it's not enough. I need something right up here. And then I might add something to the pockets or maybe in the back. We'll see. But for now, this is what I'm working with. This is what I got from the Goodwill. Don't sleep on the thrift shops, okay? Because you can really come out on top in the thrift store. Other than that, thank y'all so much for watching my first YouTube video, my first vlog. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.